and welcome to another episode of the Progressive Queens. As you can see today, it appears I'm riding solo. I may have someone drop in later. I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully, I don't struggle through this because I'm not used to being by myself, but that's okay. Um, of course, I always advise you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and support us on the Patreon singular. The link is in the description section, and I want to get right what into the show. Just kick it off. Um, Today's taping. We normally never go live on a Saturday. But this isn't live, this is recorded. So we're recording this on September the 11th, 2021. And it's been 20 years since the terrorist attacks. And I'm trying to remember exactly what I was doing. I think I was working. I was a receptionist slash secretary, and I had found out about the plane crash at work, so I took the day off. And my sister lived in DC at that time, and I'd heard that a plane had um, crashed into, uh, well, is it the Pentagon? The Pentagon, I think. Yeah, the Pentagon. And so we spent all that time trying to get a hold of her. Pardon me, my little my little setup is going haywire here, so I'm gonna try to turn this around and get this squared away. Sorry about that. My phone just went flying. Um, yeah, so we had tried to get a hold of her, couldn't get a hold of her, just was just worried. So finally she called, I think it was like 6 or 7 o'clock that evening. And had said that it was just chaos there. Of course, that led us into the 20-year war, the one that we just got out of. But the feelings that I had that day are they were all over the place. If I remember, I was angry, but not surprised. And I'll explain what I mean. So, obviously, I was angry that a bunch of cowards took over planes and flew them into the Twin Towers, into Pennsylvania, and into the Pentagon. That to be, I can't imagine what those families are going through that lost people. But to realize that someone has that much hatred of a country that they're willing to kill themselves essentially and do harm to others without any regards, period, is it's just it's just unfathomable. Now, of course, with the US playing the world's police, I wasn't surprised that it would happen. I just didn't think it would happen on that type of magnitude. So it really, like I said, I was upset. Um, I don't remember having any like anti-Muslim views um, during that day. Um, Weeks after, I think I had traveled. I traveled a couple of weeks after that, and I remember military in the airport. Um, that's where TSA started, checking, like doing the D checks, making you take your shoes off. That started 20 years ago. And we adjusted. I mean, I'm looking at my phone because I'm waiting for my person to come in. But we adjusted to that. And there's we always seem to be adjusting to things that happen. And of course that's life, but I think about, the families that lost their family members and their loved ones on that day. What I don't even know what's running through their minds. I mean, if you think about it, the people, especially in New York City, they were going to work just normal day, and all of a sudden, plane crashes. You can't get out. You know, most likely you're gonna die. What was going through their minds? What was it that caused that type of, not what caused it, what type of thought process were they having? That's something I can never imagine. Just knowing this is it, nothing's gonna happen. Something bad's gonna happen. Um, and this is not gonna turn out positive. I think if I heard this right on the news, that we still have the people who, some of the conspirators, they're still at Guantanamo Bay. Um, this is 2021. Do y'all think y'all gonna do a trial anytime soon? Because it's 20 years later. Whatever happened to a fair and speedy trial? I remember something, hearing about something like that a while ago, but apparently 20 years is just um 20 years is, seems like to be a good time. I mean, they're still there, still waiting on trial. And they'll get a defense attorney, but like, what is going to be the defense? It's us. That's the only thing. I mean, literally, they have no other defense that they can even go to, because it's just going to be hard for a defense attorney to come in there and say, "Oh, well, they didn't mean." I mean, I don't even know what they could say. I literally don't. And it I really hope that at least there's some type of trial. Of course, we're never going to forget that date, because it's the worst terrorist attack against Americans ever. Um, but the thing that really scares me, it's now moving into my next subject, is not necessarily the foreign threats of terrorism. I'm more concerned about the domestic um, terrorists that are seeding up. So if Hello, this is Tracy, and I want to let you know that the video that you just watched is just a snippet. And to see the whole wonderful episode, you need to be a Patreon. The link to be a Patreon is in the description section. Please check it out, and please support. We need as much support as possible. Remember, you can always subscribe to our page and be notified when we get new videos. But if you want to see the whole video in its entirety, unedited, just off the cuff, no filters, no anything, be a Patreon. You can start as low as just $1 per month or $5 per month. We'll start to have polls. Sometimes I'll drop into the Patreon once we get a couple more members. But again, I just want to encourage you to support us on the Patreon. The link is in the description, and have a fantastic day. Bye bye.